Steel, they say, is the bedrock of any nation. But in Nigeria, we have destroyed the bed of our steel industry, stealing our steel. When Delta State Company, DSC, Owen Alaja, near Warri, was commissioned in 1980 by President Shehu Shagari with a design capacity to produce approximately 1 million tons of liquid steel per year, it was hailed as one of the largest steel plants in the African continent. With a jetty, pellet plant, scrap yard, steel melting shop, foundry, massive engineering department, an ultra-modern computer science center, an estate management department to cater for the massive company spread out on a large expanse of land between the Owen Alaja community and the Warri River in Udu area of Delta State. DSC was a dream project conceived to quench Nigerians' growing thirst for iron and steel, and was the hope of the long-awaited breakthrough in industrial development for Nigeria and Africa. According to an article by Chido Okafor of Guardian newspaper in 2021, Delta Steel Company was a strategic company needed to drive Nigerians' quest for industrialization and economic force in the continent, more so as a handful of automobile industry in Nigeria in the 70s and the 80s sought metal foundries where brake drums, engine blocks, steel sheet, and iron steel work were forged locally to meet their local productions. Apart from feeding Oshogbo rolling mill, Jos rolling mill, and Katsina rolling mill with finished billets to be converted into various steel and metal work, Pan was known to have produced several automobile parts at DSC until he was killed by the Nigerian torch. Nigerian torch. Once they touch it, it will die. Growing up in Warri in the 80s and 90s, the steel plant was the main employer of labor and literally the economic life wire of Warri and environ. As I know some persons who left oil companies to go work in DSC, and its workers were housed in the purpose-built town known as Steel Towns, Steel Town 1, for those people that grew up there, red houses, white houses, camp extension, mobile camp for police force, all situated in a few kilometers from the plant, with the state-of-the-art schools for the school children of workers, a world-class medical center, and first-of-its-kind recreational facilities like standard swimming pools, clubhouses, and other social amenities for the comfort of its workforce, kids, and dependents. Oh boy, then we be like people when they stay abroad, with Germans, Russians, Europeans, and locals, alike, pushing babies in buggies in the evening, and lights, they blink. But today, the steel town is a state of rot and decay, thanks to the Nigeria spirit of killing dreams. Imagine growing up in such an environment, and today, you can't boast of a company like that in Nigeria. The steel plant also is now a shadow of itself, as the Obasanjo Atiku administration, despite protests from workers and unions, sold it in 2004 to Global Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, owned by some Indians, for $30 million. These same Indians also bought the Nigerian Iron Ore Milling Company, even though a local firm, BOA International, offered $31 million for a 81% stake in Delta Steel and was reportedly the preferred bidder by BPA. But then government sold it to the Indians and told us that the Indian company will invest $500 million to revive the company. But alas, they ended up stripping it before it was hurriedly repackaged and resold today again to another set of Indians, Premium Steel and Mines Limited, in rather unclear circumstances in 2015. Despite the call by Honorable Ben Ibakpa, the member representing Ethiopia Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives in 2019, that Premium Steel and Mines Limited was hurriedly registered to rip off Nigeria without any proven track record in steel development, the government simply looked the other way until date. Despite their claim of having invested billions of naira into the steel company, members of the community have asked them, as they said they have never seen steel product or rod being transported or sold from the plant, just the same way it was those days when it was DSC. You see trucks loading billets out. The story of the workers, Uncle, that's a story for another day. As 10 episodes of The Advocate, go fit, narrate, and finish. Many have died waiting for their pension and gratuity. And the ones alive are currently in court with the federal government, praying the court for orders, compelling the government to pay them for laying down their youthful lives in the cause of the country. They are represented by a friend of mine, Clement Owewuno, SAN, in court. My interaction with some of them brought tears to my eyes as I look at their faces. They tell stories of lost hope. Yet we say the windmill of justice grinds slowly but surely. But we forget that justice delayed is justice denied. How do you work for a government, retire, and to pay your entitlement, they will tell you go to court? How person wanted it patriotic for such an environment? Tell me. Nigerian government can kill any dream, sha. Waiting Nigerian government no go kill does not exist. I will therefore advocate until we request a clear-cut industrialization plan from our candidates, from councillors to House of Assembly, governorship, House of Representatives, senators, president and vice president, and ensure that such plans are followed through with timelines and actualization date. If we like, shout Hope 23, changing the economy from consumption to production, or you define Nigerian and privatizing NNPC. After all, the one where they privatized before, they worked it today. They want to privatize the other one. We will soon wake up from the frenzy of their election and realize, like Buhari, those promises were mere slogans to buy our votes. Well, time is not our friend on this platform, and time will not permit us to go beyond here. But for more episodes, simply follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. My special apologies to our visually impaired friends. Time won't permit me to call out the social media handles, but we'll still find a way around it. Remember, if Nigeria go good, no be only leadership, followership join. So follow with open mind and open sense. See you next week.